911, where's your emergency? Okay, my emergency is that, oh my gosh. We looked in the house and there's a break-in. It smells like somebody's dead in the house.
This panicked voice on the phone belongs to Dorine Spears. Her 62-year-old friend, Lisa Ann Stukey, hadn't been answering calls or messages for over 2 weeks. So on July 2, 2017, a worried and anxious Dorine decided to check on Lisa at her Ross Avenue home in Ammon, Idaho. Dorine had no idea this visit would haunt her forever. When she arrived at the house, she immediately knew something was wrong. The garage door was unlocked. This seemed odd since Lisa, who lived alone, was always careful about her safety. As Dorine stepped into the garage, a horrible smell stopped her in her tracks. Her mind raced with terrifying possibilities. Without hesitation, she grabbed her phone and dialed 911. Within minutes, Detective Corey Payne from the Bonneville County Sheriff's Office arrived at the scene. Little did he know he was about to walk into one of the most disturbing cases of his career.
As soon as I walked in, it was clear that the back door that led to the backyard had been kicked in. And that was the first sign that really something was wrong here. There was a dark black shoe print where someone had kicked in the door. That evidence was lifted with tape to be processed later. As you walk in, it was very obvious that Lisa liked to collect all sorts of things. The first thing that went to my mind is maybe this was a burglary that went wrong. The closer you got to the back master bedroom, the smell got worse. It was a putrid type smell, probably the worst thing I've ever smelled in my life. Just inside the master bedroom, the body was found. The body was so badly decomposed, it was difficult to know whether or not this was a male or female we were dealing with. The body was on top of a pile of clothes, and there was a blue shirt that was covering the back of the head. We thought it was very weird that if somebody had just fallen and passed away, that clothing would be on top of them.
When the detectives removed the shirt covering the victim's head, they were met with a horrifying sight. The back of Lisa's head was severely fractured. The blunt force trauma to the skull made it clear to detectives that this was not an accidental or natural death. It was a homicide. Lisa Ann Stukey had been brutally murdered. The detectives immediately went to work, carefully searching every corner of the house. They looked for fingerprints, weapons, and anything else that might give them a clue about who had done this terrible thing.
Just outside the master bedroom, I noticed a ball-peen hammer. Knowing that she had sustained blunt force trauma to the back of her head, that hammer was the first thing that we looked at as a potential weapon in this homicide. There were quite a few fingerprints that were taken from the scene, and we tried to grab any that we could find that might lead us to who the suspect was.
During their search, the detectives discovered that the light switches had been wiped clean. This struck them as suspicious. Why would the killer bother wiping down the light switches? Was it an attempt to erase any fingerprints and conceal their identity? Did this suggest that the killer had a criminal past and knew how to cover their tracks?
There's also a phone that was found under a pillow on the master bed. We took that phone to look at it for evidence.
But beyond that, there wasn't much to go on at that stage of the investigation. The killer had been careful, leaving behind almost no clues to reveal their identity. As the detectives were wrapping up their search, a man unexpectedly approached the house.
He was dressed a little differently, had some headphones on, and this male walked by and said to one of our deputies, "What happened? Somebody get murdered here?" And they thought that was very odd.
The man introduced himself as Mario Iglesias. He had moved to Ammon from New Jersey just 6 months earlier. Mario told the detectives that he worked at a nearby fast food restaurant and often cut through Lisa's property as a shortcut on his way to and from work. As the detectives pressed Mario for more details, he revealed something surprising. While he didn't know Lisa personally, there was a connection. Mario lived just a few houses down with the Lively family, and he was dating the Lively's 19-year-old stepdaughter, Adana. Mario also told the detectives that Lisa had close ties to the Lively family. Lisa Ann Stukey was originally from the Bay Area. She had been married to Frederick, an IBM engineer, and the two shared a beautiful, loving relationship. But fate had other plans. In 2004, Frederick's health took a sudden and devastating turn. Despite the doctor's best efforts, he passed away, leaving Lisa heartbroken and alone. Yet, even in her darkest moments, Lisa found remarkable strength. Determined to rebuild her life, she moved to Idaho Falls for a fresh start. It was there that she first met Wendy Lively. Despite the significant age difference, Wendy and Lisa formed a deep bond and quickly became best friends. They did everything together, often spending time at each other's homes and socializing frequently. Lisa also built a warm friendship with Wendy's husband, Alan Lively. Their stepson, Jamion, would often help Lisa with chores and errands around the house. The Liveleys embraced Lisa with open arms, making her feel like she truly belonged. Over time, she became a part of their family.
I feel that the Liveleys were looking out for Lisa, and the fact that she was a widow, they just felt like they needed to bring her under their wing and keep her safe.
Before long, Lisa also became friends with 72-year-old Dwayne Heimer, Alan Lively's widowed stepfather. What started as a kind and supportive friendship gradually deepened, and the two eventually began dating. This new romance, however, seemed to shift the dynamics within the Lively family, and the once warm relationships began to sour. When detectives delved into Mario's background, they discovered something shocking.
Through our investigation, we learned that he had a criminal background for violent crimes. We always hear that suspects who are involved in homicide return to the scene.
Given that robbery could align with the killer's motive, Mario's background raised serious red flags. Mario knew Lisa had valuables and cash in her house. Could he have planned to rob her and things went terribly wrong? Did Lisa catch him in the act, leading to a struggle and her death? The detectives couldn't shake the feeling that Mario was hiding something. With his suspicious behavior and history of crime, the detectives decided to bring Mario in for questioning. They needed answers, and they hoped Mario held the key to unlocking the truth about Lisa's murder.
I want to go back to the day the police were out there.
Okay.
Okay, because I was standing out front.
Okay.
Mario, how come you said it looks like somebody got murdered?
I didn't say that.
No, you said, hey, what happened? Somebody get hurt.
Okay, yeah, I brought that up because, hey, you don't see this every single time where it's all forensic stuff and stuff like that. I put 2 and 2 together. I'm not stupid.
But to walk by and say that, you threw so much suspicion right on yourself. You know
That's
that?
fine. That's totally fine. I don't know.
You have the mystery.
I've straightened out my life big time. You know, I went to a hard-to-love public school, on gangs and everything like that. I thought that was the cool thing to do.
Were you involved in gangs?
Yeah, I was.
However, Mario's confession wasn't limited to his criminal past. He also revealed a recent explosive argument with the Liveleys. Apparently, Wendy had misplaced a couple of $100, and Mario had been the one blamed for it.
I said, why would I bite the hand that feeds me? I don't like getting screamed and yelled at every single night. That they were going to put my stuff out and make me homeless. I had nowhere to go with no money.
So did you threaten Wendy and her family over this fight?
Yes, I did threaten them. I said, hey, man, you guys are going to do this to me. Man, I'm going to come back and
Just
everything up. Shoot everything up.
and
Kill.
The missing money and the argument with the Liveleys raised a major red flag for the detectives. Could financial troubles have driven Mario to rob Lisa? It was certainly a possibility. Mario admitted to walking past Lisa's house every day. He had the opportunity and perhaps even a motive. But despite their suspicions, the detectives didn't have enough evidence to arrest him. They had to let him go. However, Mario remained their prime suspect, and they were determined to keep a close watch on him. With Mario under surveillance, the detectives shifted their focus to the forensic evidence collected at the crime scene. Perhaps the lab could uncover the missing pieces of the puzzle and lead them to Lisa's killer.
Because of the decomposition of her body, we still didn't know the exact time of her death, so we used her cell phone and analyzed it.
A review of her phone calls indicated she had completed phone calls late on June 15th, but from June 16th on, there were no more outgoing calls. Just phone calls and contacts coming in from concerned friends And so we'd had an operating theory that the crime had occurred either late June 15th or the early morning hours of June 16th.
With this critical piece of timeline established, the detectives turned their attention to the neighborhood. They hoped someone might have seen something that could help them crack the case. However, their efforts were hampered by the holiday weekend. Most of Lisa's neighbors were out of town, enjoying 4th of July celebrations. Left with few options, the detectives decided to speak with Dorine Spears. As the person who found Lisa and made the 911 call, they hoped she could shed some light on the mystery surrounding Lisa's death.
I mean, I knew Lisa had a lot of money.
Was she ever worried about somebody coming in and stealing her?
Always, but she wouldn't do anything.
Where did Lisa keep her valuables in the house?
In the closet and almost everywhere.
Okay.
On top of the counter, on the kitchen.
Her most precious stuff?
Yeah, she wore it all the time. She would have, I bet she had $20,000 worth of diamonds and stuff on the kitchen counter.
Dorine confirmed that Lisa kept a significant amount of cash and valuables in her home, strengthening the detectives' suspicions about a possible robbery motive. But it was Dorine's next revelation that truly shook things up. She revealed that Lisa's relationship with the Liveleys had become strained in recent months.
When Lisa started dating Dwayne, Wendy got all upset and she said she was using him, that she was a gold digger and all this stuff. And so they got into it really.
Just as the detectives were preparing to interview the Liveleys, they received a shocking tip involving them. A local tow truck driver who happened to be doing some yard work at a house next to the Liveleys had overheard a disturbing phone conversation involving Wendy Lively.
You said you had some information in regards to what happened in Ammon?
Yeah.
Okay, so just start from the beginning.
Yesterday, they were going to do a yard work, and I heard her talk. Yo, he did it. And I heard her say that, and then the news came on last night. It's just 3 houses down from their house.
Who said this?
Wendy's wife.
Wendy was on the phone.
Yeah.
Okay, and she said the words.
He killed her.
Who was this he that Wendy had been talking about? Could it be Mario, their initial suspect? Or was there someone else involved, someone closer to home, like Alan Lively? Determined to uncover the truth, the detectives brought both Wendy and Alan to the station for questioning.
I don't know what happened in that house. I haven't had anything to do with her in 2 years. I haven't talked to her, called her. I haven't set foot on her property. I know my kids cut through her driveway to walk down the road and stuff a lot of people do.
The detectives didn't reveal the information about the overheard phone call just yet. Instead, they wanted to see what Wendy would tell them on her own.
So like
you
I
got
said,
a full house because it's you and Alan.
It's me and Alan, Adana and Mario, and sometimes Jamie.
Jamie.
He goes by Jay.
Oh,
no.
is he the youngest?
No, Adana's the youngest.
Oh, Adana.
Yeah.
Wendy and Alan Lively had adopted Jamian and Adana when they were young. They had endured terrible physical and mental abuse from their biological mother, who had them at a very young age. The Liveleys gave them a safe, loving home and provided the stability they needed. When Alan's stepfather, Dwayne, was diagnosed with cancer, he moved in with the Liveleys as well. They took him in to care for him during his illness, showing the same compassion they had given to Jamian and Adana.
So Dwayne, as he progressively got worse, we moved him in with us, and we started doing physical therapy and all that stuff at our house. We got him to the point where he was doing better, and it got so good that he could actually go back to bingo.
Wendy claimed Dwayne's health had initially shown signs of improvement after he moved in with them. He seemed to be regaining his strength and even resumed some of his normal activities. However, everything changed when Dwayne started dating Lisa. Wendy implied that the relationship had somehow negatively impacted Dwayne's health.
She'd start showing up at our house after we went to work. We could hear him talking on the phone. He would say, "They just want my money. They just want that." And we're like, "What are you talking about? We don't want your money. Okay, we're doing this because you're our dad, and we love you, and we're going to take care of you." He was like, "I want to go home. I want to move out."
After Dwayne moved out of the Lively's home and returned to his own, Lisa moved in with him to care for him. But this decision caused a deep rift between the two former friends, and their relationship began to deteriorate. Wendy started seeing her friend in a different light, growing resentful. She began to accuse Lisa of being manipulative and a gold digger. She felt that Lisa was taking advantage of Dwayne and his illness.
Now about Lisa, her money, that come from her deceased husband, is that
You
one?
make that plural.
Deceased
Husbands.
Okay.
If you actually investigated her, you'd probably be pretty shocked at what you find.
The detectives were intrigued. What had really happened between these two friends? Why had things gotten so ugly? To get a better understanding of the situation, they decided to talk to Wendy's husband, Alan.
So he had only met her in like June. And they were already talking will and all this. And I was like, who do you meet? Just me.
Right.
And within a month, you're talking will and all this. Well, I watched Lisa operate with older people. She befriends them at the end of their life. Creates a rift between them and their friends, or them and their family. And then next thing you know, she's working her way in. So, I mean, I saw her do it a number of times. So I warned him about her.
We thought that Alan might have had a grudge against her because she was dating Dwayne. And when Dwayne passed away, Alan and his family didn't get any of his inheritance.
When we moved him back in his house, and then
he passed in March of the following year?
April,
okay.
I mean, specify no, because no one told me. Dwayne had changed his will right at the end of his life. No one told me. And I didn't find out for a week.
Alan said that, I didn't get anything when he passed away. We thought we were the beneficiaries. Usually crimes are committed and the motives are money, sex, drugs, or revenge. And so we looked at it and we said, well, if it's not the robbery, we thought maybe this could be more of a revenge type of situation.
As detectives listened carefully to Alan, a new theory began to form in their minds. Could Lisa's murder have been more than just a robbery gone wrong? Was it an act of revenge driven by the Lively's growing resentment and anger toward Lisa? The possibility of a revenge killing added a whole new dimension to the investigation. The interviews with Mario, Dorine, Wendy, and Alan provided valuable insights and potential leads, giving the detectives a sense of progress. However, their hopes were shattered when the forensic lab results came back.
We learned that the fingerprint lifted at the house did not match with anybody else's fingerprint.
And that ball peen hammer that they found in the house that they thought for sure could have been the murder weapon, that didn't go anywhere either.
We learned from a forensic pathologist that he believed that the indentations on Lisa's skull were bigger than the size of the ball peen hammer. And so some of those theories in the beginning that we thought didn't always pan out.
The inconclusive forensic results were a blow to the investigation. Some of the detectives' initial theories were now dead ends. They needed a new lead, a fresh perspective. So they turned their attention to Jamion, the Lively's adopted son. The detectives hoped that Jamion could offer insights into the family dynamics and shed light on the growing tensions that may have led to Lisa's murder.
How old were you when you were adopted by the Lively's?
I believe I was 7 turning 8.
7 going 8.
Jamion came in, he was very pleasant, very kind. He cared a lot about his friends and cared a lot about his family.
Yeah, we're trying to talk to anybody and everyone we can, trying to figure out stuff about Lisa, your neighbor. So
all I know is she got with my grandpa, and then he moved out.
Okay.
During his questioning, Jamion revealed shocking details that both Wendy and Alan had conveniently left out during their interviews.
My mom and dad, they're getting divorced.
Oh, are they really?
Mm-hmm. And it really sucks.
Jamion told investigators that his parents had been fighting a lot recently. They were sleeping in separate rooms, and they were really concerned about money.
When the detectives asked Jamion about Mario, he confirmed the story of the fight over the missing money. He described the argument between Mario and the Lively's, admitting that tension had existed between them.
I don't really like Mario, There was this one time where, this was like maybe 2 weeks ago, right? So my mom misplaced some money, right? And Madonna asked, not accused. She said, hey, did you take this? And he's just freaked out, like, why are you accusing me? I didn't touch it. I didn't take anything, you know?
Like really defensive.
Yeah, and so Donna's like, you know, I don't feel like you're telling the truth. I want you to leave. I want you to leave the house because they were already having problems. And he was like, you're dead, you don't know who, and like all that, you know, and like
Your sister?
Yeah, he's like your family. You don't know who, like that's what he was saying.
Mario's history of violence and theft couldn't be ignored. Could he have been involved in Lisa's death after all? The detectives brought him in for another round of questioning, determined to get to the truth. They pressed him hard, hoping to catch him in a lie or contradiction. But Mario remained adamant that he didn't kill Lisa.
Did you go in the house? No, I never went inside the house.
Did you ever kick in her door?
No.
Did you ever go through her backyard?
No, I just cut through that driveway.
So you know I hurt somebody without leaving marks.
Pretty much. I do a lot of things to people, but like I said, why would I be out there to do something stupid like to kill her?
At that point in the investigation, the detectives were convinced that Lisa's killer was someone close to her. Mario, with his violent past, remained a person of interest. Still, the Liveleys, with their growing resentment toward Lisa, couldn't be ruled out either.
Mario is a criminal with a shady past. He was arrested for aggravated assault. He says that he was a gang member while living in another state. These aren't small crimes. This is pretty serious stuff.
So one of the possible motives that we were working on was that Mario either was put up to killing Lisa for the family, or he did it to prove himself to the Liveleys so that they could get back at the fact that they did not receive any of Dwayne's inheritance.
Could these two seemingly unrelated threads be connected in some way? A new theory began to form in the detectives' minds, one that suggested both Mario and the Liveleys might be involved in a dangerous conspiracy.
What else did the Liveleys tell you about that lady? Because they don't like that lady at all. So what did they tell you? Be honest.
Well, she's like, because I guess she's from California, so like that, she's like, yeah, real snotty attitude with people.
They ever talk about Alan's father at all?
He mentioned that she turned him back into an alcoholic. He basically went back to his old ways. He said this woman ran him to the ground.
The Liveleys, you've been there just a couple months.
Yeah.
They've treated you like a son, I'm assuming, right?
Pretty much. I feel good about myself.
Yeah.
Would you hurt somebody for the Liveleys?
No. Nobody. I wouldn't do that.
But they're your family.
Well, I consider them my family now, but I wouldn't do nothing like this for anybody.
According to Mario, Alan was deeply troubled by the growing problems in his marriage. The recent arguments and tension had taken a visible toll on him.
How pissed off is Alan at this lady?
Like, I'm not at him.
Pissed off like you were threatening to kill the family? Is he that pissed off?
No, well, he was just saying, like, he doesn't talk to people. Me and him have been bonding a lot. Yeah, I see a lot of anger. I mean, like he's losing everything. He's losing everything that he had worked hard for now.
So they fight about money?
Yeah.
With a growing pile of evidence and a hunch that something wasn't quite right at the Lively home, the detectives obtained a search warrant. They meticulously searched through every room, gathering potential evidence, clothing, shoes, anything that could be compared to clues found at the crime scene, especially that mysterious shoe print on Lisa's back door.
During the search warrant of the Lively home, detectives confiscated every single pair of shoes that was there, in hopes that it would match up to the shoe print. Unfortunately, none of those shoes matched.
With no concrete evidence emerging from the Lively home, the detectives were starting to feel like they were back at square one. Had they been wrong about the Lively's involvement? Just as frustration began to set in, a new lead emerged, breathing life back into the investigation.
And it was at that point that we got a phone call.
I didn't know what to say. Didn't know what to do.
It was a female stating that she knew more about this homicide.
He told me exactly what he did. And then he told me that if I were to say a word, that he would go on a rampage.
The caller was Lauren Pedersen, and she shocked the detectives by revealing the name of Lisa Stukey's killer. To their surprise, the murderer was neither Mario nor Alan. It was Alan and Wendy's adopted son, 20-year-old Jamion Hernandez. Lauren and Jamion first met in 2009 when Lauren moved to Idaho Falls. He was the one who helped her settle in, and they'd been close ever since. Sometimes when someone commits a crime, they confess to a friend, someone they trust. That's exactly what Jamion had done. The detectives immediately brought Lauren to the station, where she nervously recounted everything Jamion had told her.
Nobody knows you're here.
Okay.
You're brave and you're doing the right thing. Okay?
He told me if he was found out that he would go on a rampage. And he's like, I'm gonna tell you this, and you can't say anything. He told me that he murdered his neighbor yesterday, and I didn't know what to say. I was like, why would you do that? He told me he did it because apparently she screwed his family over, put his family in debt. And I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. Like, what do you say to that? He told me that since I now knew that if I were to breathe a word about it, he would take out someone I cared about. He was like, honestly, if I'm going down, I might just take out more people with me. And I believed it. I believe it. He was like a good person. I never saw this coming from him.
He does seem like a very nice kid. But here's the thing I can tell you, is that we never know people exactly for who they are, okay?
Lauren's information was a game changer, but the detectives needed solid proof to back up her claims. They had to be certain about Jamion's involvement before making any moves. So they made a plan to get him to confess on record. On the night of July 18th, 2017, they asked Lauren to call Jamion while they secretly listened in. It was a risky move, but they hoped Jamion might let something slip, some incriminating detail that would confirm his guilt.
Hello?
Hey, Jen.
What up?
You brought up something the other day, and it kind of worried me because I'm seeing things everywhere.
Okay, so
Like I'm seeing
that's
stuff.
the question.
I'm seeing stuff all over Facebook. I'm seeing stuff like I'm hearing stuff on the radio. Jay, do you have like a second? Could you go?
It doesn't even matter.
Could you just for a
Stop,
second?
stop talking about it. Stop thinking about it. Let it go. Drop it.
Unfortunately, the plan to get a confession failed. Jamion was clearly on guard, offering vague responses and avoiding any mention of Lisa or the murder. The detectives knew they had to act fast before Jamion realized they were onto him. The following day, July 19th, they decided to bring Jamion in for questioning. But before the detectives could reach the lively home, Alan, Wendy, and Jamion were spotted leaving in a car. Luckily, a patrol deputy intercepted their vehicle before they could get away.
Wendy and Alan and Jamion were seen in a car leaving their home. A patrol deputy made a traffic stop on their vehicle. We found that Jamion had next to him in the back seat a backpack that was full of things that you would need if you were leaving town quickly. A go bag, if you will, and a small personal safe that contained jewelry that belonged to Lisa Stukey.
At the sheriff's office, the detectives pressed Jamie on for a confession. They laid out the evidence, hoping to break his resolve and get him to admit his involvement.
I will admit to you 100% that you had me fooled the first time you came in here.
I didn't do anything. That's not gonna cut it, Dave.
Take a good long look at that. Take a look at it. Take a look at that. Take a look at that. You know what that smelled like? Do you have any idea what that was like? Huh?
I didn't do that.
Look at it. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. No, I didn't.
Jamie Ann initially tried to play it cool, denying any involvement in Lisa's death. But the detectives were relentless, refusing to let up. After hours of intense questioning, he finally cracked and admitted to killing Lisa Ann Stukey in the early hours of June 16, 2017.
I'm sorry, okay? You need to let it out, man. This has been living in your head. This is hard. You don't even know what's in my head. I hate her so much. It was gonna be fine if she didn't step in.
Jamie Ann had been thinking about it for over a year, ever since Dwayne had passed away. He had even Googled how to pick a deadbolt before breaking into her home. He narrated the entire incident to the detectives, describing in detail how everything had unfolded that fateful night.
Go ahead and tell me then what happened.
So, we basically got off work at 1 in the morning. I was just having a really hard day. I came home and started to have a few drinks, and then I left my house because Lisa lived right down the street from my house. I had felt a lot of anger and resentment towards her for her actions, in which she had separated my grandfather from my family, ultimately leading to his death. And in that process, she managed to somehow get him to write my dad out of his will, essentially. And this is from my own perception on it, and to me, I feel like that played a major role in why my parents are having issues. And from my point of view, I felt as if this financial loss was a big blow to their relationship and stability. And to me, my family's everything, you know. So if this woman destroyed that all bit, then. But I went to her house and I didn't think she was there, honestly, on the first one. And I kicked in her back door, so I was just gonna take some stuff and break a few things, you know. I don't know why. She ended up being home, and I got scared and left. And then I had a few more drinks, and then I came back with a bat, and I went to her. I didn't know where she was until she came out of her room. So I knew where her room was, but I didn't know where she was sleeping. And I went into the room, and I was wearing all black. I had gloves on, so it was basically planned out. And I went in there, and she got up and walked right in front of me, and I stepped behind her, and she turned around and I hit her in the head. She fell down, and then she started to. Well, I started looking around, you know, and I was panicking at this point, and she backed up, scared me, and so I hit her again. Then I hit her 2 more times, so then I was pretty positive she was dead. I took some things and I left.
The truth Jamion revealed was far darker and more twisted than they could have imagined. As he described the events, the detectives were stunned by the coldness of his actions.
Jamion was like a wolf in sheep's clothing. He was this nice kid. He got along with people. He was very friendly. And it was almost like no one would suspect this kid. It's unfortunate that he had that dark side to him.
The detectives later recovered the baseball bat from a pond near Roberts Wildlife Refuge, almost 25 miles away from Ammon. It was another one of Jamion's friends, Tristan Allen Furrows, who eventually told the detectives about its location. After Lisa Ann Stukey's body was discovered on July 2, 2017, Jamion confessed to Tristan what he had done. Tristan, not wanting his friend to go to jail, helped him hide the murder weapon and the stolen items, hoping to keep the crime from being traced back to Jamion. Little did Jamion know that Lisa had not received Dwayne's inheritance either. His motive for killing Lisa was based on a complete misunderstanding.
In reality, Lisa got nothing out of the estate. No money whatsoever. She wasn't the executor. Dwayne's estate all ended up going to his biological son, Richard, who lives in Texas. The only thing that Lisa got was the bed that she and Dwayne had bought together. Lisa's death was caused by lies. Something that should have never, ever happened.
When Wendy and Alan were told about Jamion's confession, they claimed they knew nothing about his plan. As for the tip about the phone call, the detectives were unable to verify any details of the accusation. Despite the suspicions, Wendy and Alan Lively were not charged with any crime. Mario Iglesias was also cleared of any wrongdoing. Despite his history and the initial suspicions surrounding him, the evidence against him was insufficient, and he was ruled out as a suspect in Lisa's murder. On July 19, 2017, Jamion Hernandez was arrested for the murder of Lisa Ann Stukey. Though he initially pleaded not guilty, the weight of the evidence against him was overwhelming. He eventually accepted a plea deal, in exchange for the prosecution taking the death penalty off the table. On July 16, 2018, Jamion was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. He was sent to the Idaho State Correctional Center and will be eligible for parole in 2042. In the end, Lisa's life was taken for nothing. Her vibrant spirit, her kindness, and her love for those around her were destroyed by a baseless motive and misplaced anger. While justice was served, the void left by her absence will forever be felt by those who knew and loved her.
I miss her so much. We had some good times together, and I'm so grateful for those. A lot of laughs, a lot of tears. To this day, I still call her phone. And then after I call it, I realize that she's not there. She's never going to answer the phone again. I just want her back. I just want her back.
What do you think about today's case? Do you think Jamion truly acted alone, or is there more to this story than we'll ever know? Did Wendy and Alan Lively really have no idea what he was planning? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think. If you enjoyed this video and want more deep dives into chilling true crime cases, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. And if you found this case as fascinating as we did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.